Hello and welcome to Youth in Sports, where every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. we feature special guests from near and far. The program is sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, providing certified athletic trainers to more than 30 area high schools and colleges. First State Orthopedics, the team taking care of Delaware with a commitment to excellence. And Wilmington University, where Youth in Sports is produced by the College of Technology's students and faculty. And now, from the studio at President Jack Barcelona's Wilmington University, your hosts for Youth in Sports, AOSSM Mr. Sports Medicine 2012, Dr. Michael Axe, UD and St. Elizabeth's own Dr. Joseph Strait, and co-founder of Youth in Sports, Mr. Walter Laudine.
Good evening, welcome to Youth in Sports. I'm Walter Laudine, and tonight a special show, Mikey.
Yeah, it's a special show. We're having an alumni return from yesteryear of high school basketball and youth basketball and now professional basketball. Yes, that's correct, Elena Delle Donne.
Well, I was able to watch Elena in high school. I've watched her in college and now in the WNBA, and it's a pleasure to have her on the show.
Not only is she talented, but people forget that she was a Scholastic All-Star.
Academic All-American.
Academic All-American.
With a greater than 3.6, graduating on time.
There you go. And also a beautiful girl.
Yep.
Who might go into modeling maybe when she's done here.
Certainly she did a heck of a job doing their interviews, and if anyone hasn't listened to them, they probably should, because that's how you're supposed to do an interview, as opposed to perhaps others.
Maybe she learned it on Youth in Sports. Her first interview was here.
Well, that's what she gives us credit for. We're her first media exposure.
Well, let's get right to Elena. Elena, thanks for coming down tonight.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
And your brother was here prior to that, and I showed you that magazine where you were both. How old were you guys then?
I think, did you say we were 12 years old?
I think you were 12.
I was 12. He was probably 15.
Yeah.
But hopefully I can do a little better this time, because last time I was a little rude about my mom.
No, you were just honest.
I was honest.
Yeah. She didn't recognize your talent as much as others did, and she shared that with us.
Exactly. She made me better, though. You know.
Oh, I think that's absolutely true.
But look at the change in how it is between 12 and now in your 20s. I mean, like, just to be able to understand it and see how you change.
Yeah, it really is so much different. And now it's crazy to think I'm being paid to play this sport, which is incredible. So it's amazing to be in this position, and hopefully other girls can be in that position too. And that's another reason why I'm here in Delaware, to run these camps for these young girls, and hopefully I can, you know, make their dreams come true also.
We all have. We're going to do something we normally don't do on Youth in Sports. We're each going to take a question, and we're going to rotate it through, and Walter doesn't get another question until we've completed the other two, nor do I. Okay, so Walter, you go first. What's your first question for Elena?
Now I forgot what it was. No, my first question was that when did you decide that basketball was going to be your primary sport? I mean, we knew you had that you were great at it, and you practiced and practiced. I remember Mike told me when you broke the one arm, that's when you decided that your left hand was, and that became a big deal. When did you decide that, you know, hey, there's a shot, you know, I could go on in basketball? College, yes, but maybe even further.
I think I realized that when I was 10 years old and I was playing AAU basketball, that's travel basketball. I was playing for a Pennsylvania travel team, and we were at nationals, and that's where you see everyone in the country. You see all the talent that's out there. And we ended up getting third in the country, and I was able to see how I was stacking up against all the other girls, and I was like, hey, I'm pretty good at this thing. And I think I could do this. And, you know, that's when you think about college, and then from there, you want to be a pro. So that's when I really had the realization that I might be pretty decent at this sport.
And you knew at that time that you could go pro. At that time, there was women's basketball.
Yeah,
it wasn't really promoted that much. Like, girls don't go into school thinking, oh, yeah, I want to be a pro. But now they can.
Yeah.
They can play pro basketball. They can play pro hockey.
Yeah.
Or pro soccer, rather.
Yeah, there's definitely more of an opportunity now, and hopefully we can continue to grow the game, and you'll see, you know, a little bit more of us instead of, you know, all the LeBron James and Kevin Durant. That's great, and it's great for the men's, but hopefully you can see that on the women's side, and maybe wear an Elena shoe or a Brittany Griner shoe. So hopefully we're going to come a long way, and, you know, we saw it in attendance this year. It's rising, so I think we're on the right track. We still have a ways to go, though.
So it's fun being part of the. Do you think it's being fun being part of the resurgence?
It definitely is. And then I think, when it's all said and done, and I can look back on it and think about, the impact I was able to have at that point in time on women's basketball, it's going to be a great achievement.
So what was the first national record you set?
National? I think it was my foul shooting
It was.
record. Was that it?
It was.
You knew the answer more than me.
Yeah, well, I can't remember what the number was. I just remember the play. We were playing St. Elizabeth's. Urson was playing St. Elizabeth. I was calling color with Len Holmquist. You had just made 81 or 80. You had just broken.
I think that was,
you broke the record. You got hacked. You could have had someone else shoot the foul but you were so used to getting hacked, it wasn't anything unusual, and you missed the next foul shot, but you still held the national record for free throws, and you still shoot it. Some remarkable.
This year, I think I was 92% from the foul line, but I still can't beat that record from high school. I'm still trying, but.
What was that percentage during the year?
During that year of high school?
She didn't miss up until the next to last game. She went 81 straight.
Yeah, I made it 81 straight, and that
so
was
you were like in the 99%.
Somewhere, I don't know. It was
which you don't see ever.
Wild, but yeah, I still haven't been able to beat that.
You could help Will Chamberlain. He had a million.
She doesn't even know who Will is. No. All right, so getting back to that aspect of things, we've always given Johnny Noonan credit for your free throw shooting. Does he deserve it?
He gets credit for my entire game, and from the start, I started working out with him in 2nd grade. He had me doing all guard skills and all that. So John is incredible, and I say he gives me my mojo. If you've ever seen Austin Powers, I don't know if you have or not, but yeah. So he just kind of kept me playing the guard position and helped me as I was growing, not to get awkward or go through an awkward phase. But the foul shooting actually was Steve Johnson, and he was my 8th grade coach at Ursuline, and he just completely simplified my foul shooting, where he literally changed my routine, where I only dribble the ball 3 times, and then from there I just go to a 90-degree angle and lift and flick. So he just completely simplified it, so not much can go wrong with the foul shot.
Why haven't more people done it?
I don't know.
I think they think it looks weird. They don't want to do it.
You think because of
everyone
aesthetics.
makes fun of the way it looks.
Oh, heavens.
But yeah.
All right.
My big one is I mean, as much as you've done for basketball in the state of Delaware, for University of Delaware, putting them on the map, now you're in the NBA. What is the big organization that you're trying to give back to?
Actually, I'm going to start a foundation for Lyme's disease. It's something that I've been struggling with for a very long time now. I got it in 2008, and it's been a reoccurring thing for me where I was missing games for Delaware, getting sick, relapsing, and it's something that still to this day I have to, take medication and really take care of myself, and I don't think there's much awareness at all. And, doctors don't even acknowledge it all the time. So you had to help me through a lot of it, of course. But, yeah, so I'm going to set up a foundation for Lyme's disease.
Well, for you people out there, there's some new information on and Elena doesn't know about it, but there's a bacteriophage that they're working on that they can actually make for these diseases. And when it mutates, it goes on to other things. They can make new bacteriophages as well. And with that said, there's a company in Poland that hasn't gotten FDA approval yet. We'll talk more about that, but it's a pretty exciting opportunity to actually create your own organism to kill the things that are messing with you.
That's amazing.
Certainly when you get a relapse. It's something I've been excited about, and my oldest, the orthopedic surgeons, his colleague at Tufts did a lot of work on it. The 2 and 2 didn't come together until just now, but that's what we'll move forward with.
Well, my other thing was that's great, but you're also very involved in Special Olympics as well,
yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
So
I've been involved in Special Olympics
that's been for a long time.
Yeah, years and years. Obviously my sister is the reason why I love giving back and working with people with special needs. And I do camps, just anything possible to be around those amazing people.
That's great.
Is it me?
It's your turn.
What I wanted to ask you is let's talk about your camps and what you're doing in Delaware with your camps.
Yeah, I'm running skills academies. John will be helping me, John Noonan, along with my head coach and my assistant coach. And tomorrow is the first camp in Delaware, and it's going to be grade school ages, and it's starting at 5 p.m. and I'm going with a sleepover camp. So
cool.
I'm being ambitious for my first camp. Should be a lot of fun. But yeah, I want to, obviously play basketball, teach them about the sport, but just have a lot of fun while we're doing it, because it's all about having passion for the game and having a good time. And then on Saturday, I'm running another camp for high schoolers, and that's from 1 to 4.
Elena, one of the things they always, when we have coaches on, I always ask them, you coach boys beside girls and vice versa. And they always said that girls, excuse me, paid attention more so to the coaching and really tried to do it right, where guys came and they had a pre-existing desire and a pre-existing way of doing things where they might have watched it on television. Do you agree with that?
Girls are always doing things better than guys, no offense.
You think it's because maybe they mature earlier?
No, but I do think, you know, the boys, they'll be watching the NBA and they'll think that they're LeBron James and trying to do what he's doing, when the girls just want to learn and get better.
Right.
And I think the girls focus a lot more on fundamentals too, instead of, you know, the cool stuff with putting it between your legs, throwing it behind your back, trying to dunk the ball, where girls are just focused on, let me fix my shot, let me do the fundamentals to get better. So I enjoy coaching girls. I enjoy coaching the boys too, though. You know, it's a different field, but it's great either way.
So we'll continue on. So you've had an opportunity to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
What interview or what person did you meet that excited you the most?
I think meeting Robin Roberts was probably really the most amazing thing for me to do, and I was really just kind of starstruck. And she's just such an amazing lady and so inspiring that just being in her presence was incredible for me.
The cancer survivor.
Yeah.
And also
not the pitcher for the
Phillies.
No. not the pitcher. Yeah.
And what is it that did you have a one-on-one with her, or what?
Yeah, I had a one-on-one interview with her, and it was just a sit-down. You know, she made me feel really comfortable, which was important because I was so nervous to just meet her, and then to have her asking me questions, I was like, I'm not even gonna be able to think. But she was awesome. Obviously, she's a pro at it, and she really made me feel comfortable, and she was amazing just to talk to.
Yeah, and she didn't tell you what she was going to ask you either, did she?
No, she didn't.
No, usually that's the hallmark, because if you don't know, it's a little easier to do the interview for you. If you know that you're going to be asked a particular question, then you have to say, oh heavens, what am I exactly? Did she ask anything hard? Because I don't remember the interview. I'll have to go back and look.
No, she didn't throw me any curveballs, luckily, so I was okay. But yeah, she didn't tell me
What's
what
the
she was
equivalent of a
gonna ask.
curveball in basketball?
I don't know. If I had that, I'd use it. I'm going to have to think about that, though. That's
All
good.
right, before we go to break, I want to know, University of Delaware, lots of fun things you've done there. I mean, for us to watch you play there, the place is erupted. What did you get from University of Delaware? What was that like big experience? Is there a one-time thing?
I couldn't even say there's one
there...
thing I got out of my experience there, but it was the most amazing 5 years I could have ever asked for, and it really did help me grow into the individual that I am today.
Was it playing in front of your parents and at your college level? Was it?
It was just the atmosphere, playing in that Bob, and if you were there for the final game at the Bob, it was ridiculous. I thought the building was going to come down with how loud it was, and even Rebecca Lobo said that on ESPN. She said it's never been so loud, so it was incredible to be.
Well, the architects that made the Bob are probably proud of the fact that you were able to do that, and they're proud of the Star Campus too. We'll come back right after this.
I will keep dancing on point, even if it hurts.
My arm is killing me. I don't know if I can pitch another ball. But I'll just play through the pain anyway.
I have to do the big stunts to look better than the other cheerleaders. Our tosses are bigger.
My elbow really aches, but I got to eat better.
Don't tell them it hurts. They'll take you out of the game if you do. I have to push harder if I'm going to get a scholarship. I'm feeling dizzy, but I don't want to tell anyone.
Everyone's counting on me. I can't rest now.
Nearly 50% of all sports injuries sustained by middle and high school students are from overuse. Don't play through the pain. See your healthcare provider and follow their instructions for rest and recovery. Take the pledge. Become an advocate for sports safety. Visit stopsportsinjuries.org.
Go team!
Hi, we're back on Youth in Sports with the fabulous Elena Delle Donne, and we were talking about your interview. You said that Robin Roberts was one of your big-time meeting. Mm-hmm. Pretty soon, next year, I assume, that you'll be able to tell them what you want, what not to ask you, because you'll be that much of a star. I mean, you made such an impact this year. Next year, where's it going?
Well, first things first, I want to win a WNBA championship.
You're close this year.
We had a great season, but we didn't show up so well in the playoffs, so we definitely need to have a better playoff showing and hopefully get a WNBA championship. That's the biggest goal right now. Now,
my question to you is, when you talk about teams, okay, there's always the ones that want the publicity. I don't know how prevalent that is in the girls' game, but in your locker room, is it a happy locker room? Is it is a contentious locker room? What kind of locker room do you have? And what have you heard about the other teams? Are there problems that affect the men?
We have a happy locker room, and I'm very glad that we have that. And I think that's why we were so successful this season, because we really did support one another and had great chemistry. Other locker rooms I can't really speak for, but I have heard that, rookies have to do certain things like clean the laundry, go clean cars or something like that. I didn't have to do any rookie duties, so I'm very thankful for that. But
none of the rookies on your team had to do rookie duties, right?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so how many rookies were there?
Just 2.
Okay.
Yeah, just me and Michelle. But she's an older player. It was just her first year in the league, though, so she's considered a rookie.
All right, so now it's my question. So you have this environment that you're in right now, mm-hmm. and they ask you to take us through a game day in another city on what happens to a professional player from the time she wakes up. First of all, you usually get in the night before?
Yeah, usually.
And what time will you usually arrive? It's going to be in the mid-morning, right? Early morning?
Usually we'll get in actually late at night, the night before, like 8 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And then we kind of just have dinner to ourselves. You can get it wherever.
With the team or without the team?
No, without the team. So as a pro, you're not with the team anymore. Everything's kind of just on your own.
Do you have a budget for meals?
They give us per diem money. So
all right,
what is it now?
I'm cutting in on your question.
Yeah.
Do you guys fly or is it bus?
We fly, but we fly commercial, so we don't charter.
That's okay. I hear nightmare stories from minor league baseball.
Yeah,
about
the
bus.
No,
And you hear all these crazy stories. I just always wondered.
Yeah, we don't have that.
That's great.
I'm very glad we
So
fly.
what's the per diem for food?
It'll vary depending on how long the trip is, but
Oh, you get it for the trip?
Yeah, we get it for the trip. So usually, like for a trip, it'll be like $120 or something.
Okay. So you get what hotels? Will you stay with a particular chain? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. We stay at really nice hotels. I think the other team kind of has deals with the hotel, and they just put you up in those hotels. So we'll get in at night. You have dinner wherever you want. You're not with the team like college, and then you go to bed whenever you want, which you have to be disciplined. So
do you guys hang out? Be honest.
Yeah,
are you guys up hanging out together in like rooms?
No, we're not.
You guys...
We're all too. I think you're too focused when you get to the pros, because literally, if you're not doing things the right way, you're going to be off the team and you won't make it. So, I get to bed early. I get up at a decent hour, not too late, not too early.
What is that? What do you need? How much sleep do you need?
I like 8 hours.
You need 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to get my 8.
Well, that's okay. At least you know you need it.
Yeah, yeah. So I get my 8 hours of sleep, then usually I order breakfast, like room service breakfast.
So what will your breakfast be?
Eggs Benedict.
Yeah, I'll usually have like eggs, oatmeal, a pretty good breakfast, because I know.
How many calories do you need to maintain
I
your
need
strength?
a lot of calories. That's something I needed to work on this season, and I'll be working with a nutritionist.
That's what I was just going to ask. Is there a nutritionist that sets up like meal plans for you? Like,
yeah,
hey, you should eat this, you should eat this.
4,000? You need 4,000?
Yeah, I need about there.
I thought.
Yeah, I need a lot. So that's something during the season I was losing weight, and that's something that's hard for me. it just falls off of me
Yes.
throughout the
Oh,
season.
gee, that's tough.
Yeah.
Well, it is when you're a professional
It's
athlete.
tough for me. I want to keep it on,
right.
and you know, you get weak when you're losing weight like that. So that's something this off season I'm really working on.
And it's got to be tough to eat after games. I mean, we talk
I'm
about
never
eating
hungry.
protein after activity before you go to bed. And I mean, when you're
it's
done
tough.
and you're spent, you don't really want to go out and eat.
No, you don't feel like it. So that's when I'll try to have like a protein shake after the game, and then try to get another meal in, just because you have to. But
Did you know that nutrition was that important? I mean, even in college.
I was told, yeah. But in college, I was told, and I would kind of just get by and be like, yeah, okay, whatever. But now in the pros, it's very important. It's just as important as the training aspect.
All right, so now you had breakfast.
Yeah, so I'll have my breakfast.
So I didn't tell you what time the game is. What are you preparing for? What time of game?
If I'm doing like a 5 o'clock game, maybe.
Okay.
So then I'll have my breakfast, and then we usually have shoot around. So we'll have to meet at like say 12 o'clock on the bus, and we just get on the bus, go to shoot around. That's an hour. And
Do you get your own room, or do you have a roommate?
as a rookie, and I think it's your first 4 years in the league, you have a roommate. But after the first 4 years, you get your own room.
Okay.
So my roommate and I usually like coordinate. We'll eat together, all that. It's kind of nice to have a roommate, to be honest. And then we'll go to shoot around, and generally we'll watch a little bit of film at shoot around again, just to kind of refresh on the team. We'll go through their plays, we'll shoot, and then we get to come back and you do whatever you want until it's time to get back on the bus again for the game.
All right.
And that I'll eat. And I'll usually get a nap too. I need my game day nap.
And how long is that? 45 minutes to an hour?
Yeah, that's usually pretty quick. Not too
And that's
long.
why you need the
power
roommate
nap.
to wake
I
you
need
back
that
up.
nap.
So when we get to the arena?
I get there early. So sometimes I even leave earlier with my assistant coach because I like to shoot way before the game. But we get to the game probably about 2.5 hours before.
Wow.
And I like to be out on the court usually 2.5 hours to 2 hours before the game to get shots up.
Okay, so now we have you playing the game, and then you get finished. You guys, what kind of clothes do you take with you? You take a nice clothes?
We have to take nice clothes because, after the game we have to be in like business casual, which I could wear this after a game. If we're traveling right away, you can wear the sweatpants, which we love. We're like, oh, thank God we get to wear sweats today. But usually we always have to be business casual. You can't be in your team sweats anymore like college.
All right, I'm getting my questions
You're
in
in.
now.
Yeah.
I got mine.
Biggest things are, I know you're going to say you're in Chicago, you're playing in Chicago, you love Chicago, but let's talk about when you travel, where do you love, and then I want to know who that you've played against in this first year that was
A great team.
that was good, or the player that you had to play, somebody gave you a little bit of
Yeah,
a go.
so favorite places to travel and play would be New York and DC, because that's when all the Delaware fans roll in and pack it just like they did the Bob. So those games are awesome to play in, and even my teammates love coming to the East Coast because they're like, oh, we're going to have a big crowd this game. And then the best team we played were the Lynx, and they won it this year. And they've got Maya Moore, Simone Augustus, Lindsay Whalen. So they have those three, and they're just a really difficult team to beat.
Is that it?
You're up. You're up.
When you talk about places you like to play, you know, I'm sure that in women's basketball that there's a lot of interest. How often do you fly coast to coast?
Generally, they do our West Coast trip. They try to pack it all in. So
In one shot.
In one shot. So we'll get LA out of the way. Sometimes Phoenix we didn't get out of the way on the West Coast trip, but usually it'll be LA, Phoenix, and Seattle, and we'll just be out there for a week to 2 weeks. This year it was only a week, and we got LA and Seattle. But there's a lot of traveling in the pros, which is different than college, because college you'll have 2 games a week, and here we play 34
And you're supposed
games.
to go to class, that's why.
That too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but in the pros, we have 34 games in 3 months. So there was a time where we had 5 games in 8 days. And we had a game at 7 p.m. at night in Chicago. The next morning, we had to get up and get on a plane at 6 a.m., fly to Atlanta, and had a game that night. So we were on a plane that day.
I'm glad
had
you
a
brought
game
that
night.
up, because as a former horse trainer, when we talk about acclimation and flying, there was a big thing about a male basketball player that wouldn't fly. He wouldn't travel. And he was drafted high. And I don't know why they didn't know that about him, because in college it was the same thing.
Yeah.
What about, did you notice, and for yourself speaking, traveling, how much of a big deal was that? Because a lot of people cannot travel and perform the way you're talking. And does
difficult.
it come into play for some of like the rookies that are first doing it?
Yeah, it definitely comes into play, and especially those back-to-back games where you have a game one night and you're flying the next day and have to play that night.
It's tough.
Those were really tough. And for me, even, those games where you're playing back-to-back, I was exhausted, but at that point I just was going on adrenaline and able to push through it. But we talked about it, and we would say, look, we're going to be tired tonight. Our focus isn't going to be on, but we need to focus on this, and that'll get us through this game. So at least we get it out there as a team and talk about it. We know it's going to be rough, but we got to get through it, because
this is a new experience for you this year, being a rookie, okay? How many times did you get caught in a city and forgot to bring something and you had to go buy it?
I didn't have that happen to me, but I have a funny story about Brittany Griner.
Okay.
She had a rookie duty, which luckily I didn't have, where her duty was to carry the team's jerseys. And they had one of these back-to-back nights where they had to fly, and they had a connecting flight. She left the team's jerseys on the first flight, and she's on the next flight headed to the game, and she's like, I left our jerseys, like, I don't know what to do. And I guess luckily they got the jerseys in time, but they were gonna have to play in their practice jerseys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I guess it does happen to the rookies.
How do you pack for 2 weeks when you go on a big week?
Yeah, I'll have to pack, I'll have to figure out how many games I have, how many business casual outfits I need, so that's the first thing I'll pack. And then from there, I'll pack our team sweats, and usually we'll just kind of figure it out as we go.
I'm going to extend that question. Obviously, you have a unique group of women. They're very tall. Who has been the designer that you ladies have gone to? Based upon
a certain place to either buy or designer, exactly.
Yeah,
we all go to Buckle for our jeans. So Buckle has very long jeans. They have extra tall. I have a 37-inch inseam, so it's difficult. Or
that's my whole head.
Yeah, or we'll just get jeans that are supposed to be full length on normal people, and we'll kind of roll them and make them look like capris. So yeah, we just kind of come up with tricks as we go.
How about other clothes? I mean, dresses and business suits and stuff.
Usually it's just kind of, you got to get lucky and just try on a bunch. So I'll go to a Nordstrom's if I need a dress and just try on a ton, and whatever works, I pick.
Yeah, I'm surprised
it takes a lot of work.
The designer hasn't come into
I
actually, now I have a stylist, which it's new. I guess I had to learn rookie year, but now.
Okay, we're going to go to, we're going up 10 seconds late. I want to hear the stylist story. We're going to come back right after this. Elena Delle Donne telling us the life of a pro.
What does opportunity mean to you? At Wilmington University, it means providing a personalized educational experience where students learn anywhere at any time. Wilmington University provides a variety of ways to complete your degree. Choose the flexibility of online learning, or attend classes during the day, in the evening, or on weekends at locations throughout the region. It's your degree. Choose how you earn it. Personalized education, affordable tuition. That's the difference at Wilmington University. What does opportunity mean to you? At Wilmington University, it means finding an innovative degree program that fits your goals and prepares you for a successful career. It means finding a school that fits your life. We know the importance of providing individual attention, affordable tuition, and unparalleled flexibility and service. Because at Wilmington University, it's not about meeting your expectations, it's about exceeding them. Personalized education, affordable tuition, that's the difference at Wilmington University.
All right, we're back on Youth in Sports with Elena Delle Donne. We're having a great time talking about the life of a pro. And Mike, who's on? We're switching questions.
Oh, no, we went under the stylist. We said, you know, we said that these are tall women that have they don't make fashions for those because there's no market for it. So therefore, the question was, how do you get your stuff? We talked about the jeans being, you have a 37-inch inseam, and Buckles does jeans for the tall girls.
Yeah.
And then we said dresses or Nordstrom's that you kind of tried out, but you've got to, if you just didn't hear the last part of the break, you got a stylist coming that's going to help do a makeover on Elena Delle Donne. Is your mother going to come too? I mean, because you're both that tall. I mean,
oh yeah, my mom's probably going to jump in on this, but
now you've got the leverage, though.
Yeah, I do.
Not like
I haven't
before.
met with the stylist yet, but that's going to be in December. And basically, I spoke to her on the phone, kind of told her things I'm into, and then she's obviously seen different pictures of me and what she thinks I would look good in. And she's out in California, but she's going to bring all these clothes to Chicago, basically get a hotel room, and I'm just going to try a bunch of things on. And then she has a tailor in the room, so
cool.
if something doesn't fit, she can just kind of make it fit for
Mike,
me.
let me augment off your question.
that sounds like
the other thing.
That's great, right?
Sounds like me when I go up to Philadelphia to the men's store.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's
Dress
what they
up.
do. If there's some of the TV shows, they show that these affluent women have these people coming in, bringing all these clothes, and they pick what they want. Easier for them. But let me jump off with Mike saying and talk about hair, makeup. The fact that your hair looks great, but you know, especially when you're playing, it's hard on your hair and stuff. What do you do about that? What do the girls do about that? Do you have a stylist that takes care of your hair
on game days? No, that's me. I just throw it up in a bun, as everybody has probably seen. But like today, I do my own makeup and hair. But I've worked with someone from Bobby Brown who basically like taught me how to do makeup and how to do it natural, or if you're on TV. So I worked with someone for that, for makeup, so now I can basically do my makeup for regular events. But if it's a big event, someone would be doing my makeup and my hair. And then I get my hair, I've gotten my hair colored for a long time, so that's not new to me. Thank you. So yeah, my hair I've always kind of
but the frequent shampoos, I mean, you have to do it so often. You've been doing it from the time you've been little. You've washed your hair more than most girls.
Yeah, I use Moroccan oil to kind of keep it healthy.
Let me write that down.
So that's
good.
You need to use it too.
Yeah, it is that.
You're on.
It comes to me now. All right, one of the big things I always wondered was the changeover from college to professional, and I've asked this of football players, baseball players, and how much more exercise and time in and gym time, and is it a lot more in women's basketball than it was when you were in college?
Not really, because I was crazy in college doing a lot of workouts. Like I would do my college workouts, but I was also adding my own. So for me, it wasn't much different. I think for the average person, it is a little bit more of a jump.
That's why we had trouble with your weight.
Yeah, that's why my weight is another issue, because I'm training a lot all the time.
So, like, do they put you through workout programs for strengthening, just like they would at a college? I mean, are you through this like in the off season? Are you guys still working out together, or do you do it on your own?
No, in the off season you're on your own, because my whole team is overseas right now, playing on different teams. So
that's cool.
We can't be on a program together. But I'm on my own program since I get to stay in Chicago. I'm training every day, and I'm on a program. I'm on a meal plan, but not everyone can be on those programs, and that's another reason why I decided not to go overseas, because I wanted to get better and be able to train here.
And I guess the 34 games in 3 months that you were saying takes more of a toll on you than the college season, the high school season. I mean, I always, for the young athletes that are out there, that jump from even high school to college is huge. And then college to professional is just a different world usually. And
especially the volume of games and how quickly the turnover is for games. That was a big change for me and was definitely tough.
And do you think it was beneficial when you were in high school to have, because we've had on the AAU Sharks, Lady Sharks recently, and a lot of those girls played high school.
Did they?
Yeah.
They're awesome. That's great.
The 11th graders.
That's great.
So they play both. They play high school and AAU, and they play so many games. I was amazed. It was like 80-some games a year. So I just think that now you see how that
Yeah.
transitions into college and professional.
It is. It's tough on your body, especially at that age when you're growing. And I went through it, and thank God I had Dr. Axe to keep me going, because I was injured every other week, and just because I was growing so quickly and playing so many games and training so hard that it was really hard to stay healthy. But luckily, I had Dr. Axe, and I had pro physical therapy, now ATI, helping me. But it was tough even when I was young to get through that.
Well, you know, let's talk about that. Let's talk about injuries. What kind of injuries did you have?
I think he should answer this question.
Well, it began. You know, you made alluded to it with when she fell and hurt her wrist.
Yeah, which turned out to be a good thing for you, really.
You started
great.
working on the other side, and that was helpful. And we lived through a back issue where she had to wear a brace. And what people don't realize is when Khadijah, the St. Elizabeth's Ursuline showdown, in which, you know, this was a cute story. Each of them, when they played home and away, they would have silent auctions, and to have mid-court tickets for her games would generate $250 for their silent auction, just because they wanted to be there. They wanted to have that ability to.
Well, both stadiums were always jammed.
Well, we were just going to say, she packed the bob in high school.
It was the first time she packed the bob. She and Khadijah packed the bob before University of Delaware ever sold out.
Wow. Says a lot.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's talk about those injuries now.
You want to get back to you being hurt.
Yeah,
the point about it is that there's things that you have to overcome.
Well,
Elena has overcome those things, and they've been anything from Lyme's disease to maintaining her weight because she exercised so much, to the orthopedic problems that everyone sees, from the ankle and the back. We've not had anything that needed to have surgical intervention on, which is
that's
been a huge,
which is amazing for all the sports you played. I mean,
like any kind of supplements, vitamins.
Yeah, well, that's all with the Lyme's disease too, where my doctor has me on 1 million vitamins, but luckily I've been doing really well and been able to come off a bunch of those, but I'll do a multivitamin too. Do
most of the players on your team have a vitamin regimen?
Yeah, mostly everyone's at least on a multivitamin. Some people take more, some less, but we're all on different supplements.
You know, you're saying you come to the game 2.5 hours before. How many shots do you take in practice?
In practice?
Yeah. Like before the game?
Yeah, before the game, I do probably 100 maybe a little more than that. 100 makes. So hopefully that doesn't mean I'm shooting much more than 100, because I won't be happy about that, but at least 100 makes.
All right, so now you're having, let's take you to a scenario. Let's take you to a scenario where pre-game you're not feeling it.
The shot's not going?
Shot's not going.
Yeah.
Okay. What will you adjust? It does happen, of course. And it probably happened the night she had to travel overnight, the first time she ever had to go back-to-back, and didn't get her 8 hours of sleep and only got 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you adjust when it's not happening? Do you say something to the coach to tell him that there's an issue tonight, that you're not feeling it?
No, usually my assistant coach will shoot with me and say I'm off. She'll know, because she can tell by the way I'm like angry, and she'll kind of come up to me and be like, look, your next shot's going in. I don't care if you're not feeling it right now. In the game, I want you to take every shot that's open. So that's a great thing. I'll get a confidence boost from her. But on my standpoint, I'll kind of...
Yeah, but you know BS when you hear it.
Yeah, I'll just say, in my head, I'm like, I got to get to the rim tonight. And I know if I get to the rim and I get fouled, then I can get to the foul line, and that's where I can get my shot back on me.
Okay, so your adjustment, if you're not feeling your outside shot, you're going to go inside.
Yeah.
That makes great sense.
Exactly.
You want to work off of that one too, Walter?
No.
Well, that's a good one. Where do you like playing best? I mean, I know, hey, it's in WNBA you're going to do kind of where you need it, but you've played outside, inside. In fact, I can still remember being in the bob when you were in high school in a transition 3. You took a pass off the left side of the 3-point line in rhythm and stroked a 3, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is an 8th grade It may have been 9th grade or something.
Grade, yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
For me, it usually depends on the defender. So if I have a really small, quick guard on me, I'd rather be inside and just shoot over her and be able to have my back to the basket. But if I have a bigger player who can't move as well, side to side, that's when I like to be outside and take them off the dribble or just pull up and shoot a 3 or something.
Who don't you like standing in front of you guarding you?
I don't think I have one particular defender that I don't like. I would say that Indiana probably plays the best defense on our entire team, and they kind of just hold us to a standstill. So if I had to pick one team, it would be Indiana.
What do they do differently?
I don't know. I wish we could have figured that out, because that's why we exited so early in the playoffs. But yeah, I don't know. They just really were able to lock us down this year, so hopefully we can fix that.
So the season ends, and you have your exit with your coaches. Do they give you, I know what Tina would always say at the end of the season, I want you to work on this, this, and this. Do they do that with you in the pros?
Yeah, they do. They do that. And in my exit, obviously, we wanted to work on getting my weight up and my strength up. And then aside from just the basketball part, just becoming a leader, because we felt like the team lacked a leader and a voice to follow, and she wanted me to be able to kind of transition into that role for next year. So that was something I need to work on.
How do you think, and this may be putting you on the spot, how do you think you do that as a second-year person going in? You've named some people who are big names that you're playing with. How do you do it? I mean,
it's obviously a difficult task, and being a rookie this year, I didn't feel comfortable doing it. But I think I'm a type of leader that goes with, just kind of follow my lead with the way I work and with my work ethic. So hopefully that'll help, but I do need to kind of get a voice on the team, and my assistant coach is helping me a lot with that, and I'm going to hopefully...
Who is this assistant coach? Can we tell her by name?
Yeah, Christy Sides. She's helping me run my camps too.
Is she a player?
I spent a lot of time with her. No, she was. She played D1, I think not LSU, Louisiana State maybe.
Does she have a southern draw?
Oh yeah. I'm not picking up on that yet. Keep my Delaware accent.
Yeah. Do they accuse you of having one?
Yeah. No. Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. They get me pretty bad with
what
my Delaware accent.
What do they pick out when you say it?
Umbrella.
Umbrella?
Umbrella.
Is that wrong?
Yeah.
No.
It's just accent on the second.
It doesn't.
It's in New York.
Just like they say I have an accent when I say any.
You have no accent.
Yeah, I don't think so. You don't either.
We don't think Elena has an accent. We're going to go to a break and come back right after this in our 4th segment with Elena Delle Donne.
I know they never make me play with these guys, but why do they make me train like them?
Training hard is important, and for professional athletes, it's their job. But kids aren't professionals and shouldn't train at that level. Keep kids safe on the playing field and out of the operating room. Become an advocate for sports safety. Visit StopSportsInjuries.org.
Hi, we're back on Youth in Sports, our last segment with Elena Delle Donne. It's been a pleasure, and we want to thank her for coming down, her busy schedule, doing camps, being in Chicago, back in Delaware. When do you go back to Chicago?
I'm going to head back after Thanksgiving, so I get a few days here now.
Cold out there.
It's cold. It's really cold.
Will this be your first winter in Chicago?
Yeah. So when I tell people I absolutely love Chicago, they're like, wait for a winter and then answer that question again. So we'll see after this winter how I handle it.
I raced out in Chicago. It was cold.
It's already really cold.
Is there, just so that I know, when you go there, is there housing? Like, do you, when I say housing, is it team housing, or is it more that you buy your own house or you rent, or?
They offer team housing. If you don't want to do the team housing, then they give you a stipend and you go from there. So I take the stipend because I have a big Great Dane living with me.
Oh.
So I have a home and a yard. No, he's actually a blue one.
Oh, God, they're so cool.
Yeah, oh, I love them. So I drove home from Chicago so I could bring him here to Delaware. So I did that 13-hour drive. I won't put him under the plane. I won't do that to him. So I drove him.
Whose question?
Mine. So you're done. You're going to play in the, what's the average lifespan of a women's NBA player?
I think it's usually like 8 to 10 years, maybe a little more, give or take.
Your father has your grandfather started a wonderful business.
Yeah.
Your father has expanded it. Mm-hmm. Your brother has made it different.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Is Elena ever going to be part of the family business?
I don't know, and I can't give you a answer now, but I could see maybe getting involved in that after basketball. I think Gene might want a little.
They do some really good things here. You know?
Yeah, they do some great things here. You know, they're doing a really good job.
Did you go over to the Star Campus? Have you been yet?
I saw it when I went back for the Delaware game.
Yes.
And I was amazed because.
Did Pat give you a tour?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But the last time I had seen it, it was really nothing, and now it's a huge building, and I was shocked. So it looks great. I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Deldon and Associates are doing a good job.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
Have you thought of any other things other than being part of the family business? Are you looking into other
I really enjoy running like these camps, so if I could maybe set up a skills academy, that's something I've thought about doing too. Maybe modeling, who knows?
There you go.
Huh?
I don't know.
There you go.
Well, that's nice
have you thought about that recently?
I've thought about it.
Have you been approached to have,
You know, there'll be different things like magazine, photo shoots, things like that.
What about your own line?
My own line?
Sure.
Yeah, you know, a clothing line.
I was going there with that, and that was why the stylist, I'm going to be interested to see what she can bring to the table.
That's true.
I will offer to you that you'll leave there thinking,
I still need to do a clothing line, probably. Yeah.
But
that'd be great.
That's a great, a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
You get Mike to the bankroll, I mean.
Yeah, I'll get him to start it off. We'll go on Shark Tank together.
Could you see them saying something to Mike on Shark Tank and Mike go over and punching him?
Exactly.
And
that's
some
why
of
I
those
want to
guys,
go on.
I love to punch them. They are aggravating.
Yeah. We'd have fun.
He actually took my question away about what you'd like to do. Not you.
No.
Straight Joe.
Sorry.
Like what you'd like to do down the road, but you've answered that question. Kind of, there's a whole bunch of things on your plate that you could do.
Yeah.
And would you like to continue to play basketball for another 8, maybe 10 years?
Yeah, I want to play for as long as I can.
Would you think about going over to Europe? And why wouldn't you? If it seems to me like that would be really cool.
Yeah, I didn't go this year because obviously I want to get better and improve my game in the off season and do these things like skills academies and all that. So obviously it's there every year. I could go next year or the year after, but I do like staying back here and growing my brand in the U.S. And there is a lot of money overseas, but I think I could grow the brand here and then keep women's basketball top of mind because, like I said, you want little girls to be able to wear Elena Delle Donne shoes, Brittany Griner shoes, instead of having to wear the men's stuff.
What about when the girls go overseas, Elena? Is there any fear of there's a lot of kidnapping and that kind of thing over there. Yeah. Are the girls protected when they go over there?
They're usually protected because their agents will get them into a good program where they know they're going to be safe, but you never know. There's been a lot with passports and the girls not getting paid and all that. So there's a lot of issues over there, and I don't know if I want to deal with it.
So who's your agent?
Well, my agent was my brother, but I just recently changed over to Wasserman, and Lindsay Kagawa is now my agent. So,
and how do you like your contract?
My contract with my agent, or
no, your contract with the Storm.
Oh, the Sky. Sorry.
Yeah, the Sky. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's great, and basically you kind of don't even negotiate a contract in the WNBA. You just are on the team, and then I'm pretty sure I have 3 years set, and then from there I can kind of negotiate a trade or not. And,
Really?
Yeah.
So they fixed the salary?
Yeah, it's fixed. Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Well, is it
hopefully.
fixed? Wait, is it fixed for everybody that comes in the league at the same time, or is it fixed for where you're drafted?
It's fixed for everybody.
So all rookies get paid the same amount for the first 3 years, and then after that you can negotiate your contract money-wise and where you go. So at 3 years you can say, hey, negotiate, I want this, but for the first 3 years it's set,
done.
and everybody gets that across the
Yeah,
board.
you really don't even need an agent for your WNBA contract. It's all set in stone.
Well, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that because I never knew that.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
And probably a lot of people don't.
I didn't know that.
That wasn't a loaded question. I didn't know it either.
But that might
got
be
lucky on the
why
presser, you know?
the WBA is going to keep going on and getting better because a lot of times the other teams get priced out of the market.
Yeah.
You know, and you talk about television contracts and sponsorship and, you know, all kinds of different, the jerseys and that kind of thing.
That's true.
So those things, you know, might work their way out and might be a good thing.
Well, I'm going to come back to what can they do? What can they do to make the women basketball players feel more special? What little things can they do?
I think the biggest thing is just marketing us more and getting our faces out there and having a women's basketball brand and something that little girls can buy women's stuff and see the women.
I don't think there's enough of that.
You don't see
There's not, but I think that there has been a
so-
huge increase in the last few years, and
Definitely.
it is yourself,
Yeah, I do
Brittany
think-
Griner.
yeah.
I wouldn't have known who Brittany Griner was if you weren't there, because I wouldn't have been watching it. So now your people in Delaware are watching basketball at a high level, and they see other players, and I'm like, oh, that girl dunks.
Yeah,
Now you go to
exactly.
her and you watch her on TV. I find myself watching women's basketball now,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I didn't before.
And I
So-
think, we do continue to put a great product out there, and it gets better and better, and the game is growing and getting better. So I think, you know, the product's there, and now it's just time to market it and get people to see it, because once you see it, you're hooked, hopefully.
Now, the women's ball in college is smaller than the men's ball.
And it still is in the pros, too.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same size as college.
Yeah, same size ball as college, but the three-point line does move back in the pros even more than college.
What
Has
changes? Is it my question?
I was going to say, does that change your three-point percentage? Has it?
It affected it a little bit, not too bad, but it is further back, especially, you know, towards the end of the season when you're tired and all that traveling's going on.
a lot of
I
long
would be
twos.
like, I need to get my
Foot's on the
legs.
line.
Yeah, your foot's on the line, and it's just frustrating.
Well, you know,
I
you
didn't think it would
made
change
the
it with all
comment
the healthy threes
that
she's taking.
you need to be marketed. One of the things, when I was president of the Horsemen's Association in Pennsylvania, the governor
You've been
would
doing
always,
really good, Walter.
thank you. The governor would always send somebody down to talk about, you know, racing, and they wouldn't know anything about racing. Now, in women's basketball, the person who runs it, the commissioner,
Yeah.
are they? Oh, you don't want to say anything here. But
Yeah, I
do
can't.
you think? No. Do you think that people that make up the rules and do the things that are they doing the things that need to be done beside marketing? Are they getting better?
Yes, definitely. We're headed in the right direction.
You're headed in the right direction.
Definitely,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so obviously we're going to repeat this, that Elena was an academic All-American. In fact, she was #1 in the country. She received the Outstanding Student Athlete Award for was it women's basketball in general, or was it?
No, it was actually just all sports.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Not at Delaware, but throughout the country, correct? All right, so how many people on your team, let's rephrase this, how many people in the WNBA could you have an intelligent conversation with?
Everyone. And that's another big difference with the WNBA versus the NBA. You have to go all your years of college. And that's why, you know,
Say
you're going
that
to have
again.
it.
There's no
You
early,
go all
there's
4
no
years of
early
college
leave.
for the WNBA.
So in other words, if you just came into Delaware now as a freshman,
I could not leave
you
and
could
go
not
pro.
leave. I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it's a great rule.
idea.
Well, I just wanted people to understand
Did you
it.
know
I did not, but I knew that she was happy with the intelligent conversation that she can have
Exactly.
with other people, that they can actually have a discussion.
I think that has a lot to do with the fixing of the salaries for 3 years.
Yeah,
and when
it's
you think
all
about it.
Sounds to
and
me
it's a
like the
good way.
brain
Now,
thruster in the WBA, not the NBA.
Yeah, you
but
think
what
they
happens
should
when it
follow
gets
that.
big? That'll be a good question.
It'll be interesting when
It'll
it
be-
gets big if they get rid of that, which
if they
would
get
be
rid of it
a
to
shame.
try to get more people into.
Well, you
to the
know who'll
league
get rid of
faster.
it? You guys would get rid of it.
Do you feel there are how many people on your team, this guy?
We have 11 person
okay.
roster.
And is that a good number?
We're hoping for 12. That's another thing we're working on. We want a
to get an
12-man
extra
roster. Yeah.
Okay.
And how many
Just with
assistant
injuries
coaches?
and all that, it's hard only having 11.
So you have 11 players. How many assistant
We have
coaches?
3 coaches.
3 assistants.
3 total coaches.
3 total coaches. And you have a trainer. And that's it, right?
That's it.
Equipment person?
Yeah, we have someone who helps out with all that.
Okay.
All right, so you have this. Do you feel comfortable on any of your teammates representing you after a game to do a press conference?
If they were to speak about me?
To speak about the team.
The team.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
do you feel that you guys were schooled? Did you take a class to be
We didn't
schooled?
take a class, but they're all great with interviews. And I'm thinking just because they're probably big names at their school, so they had been through it all through college. And
Did you ever have a class on public speaking?
I didn't.
I always wondered because you
do it so
speak
well. You know,
Thank
that
you.
was one
on
of the-
TV after
Maybe
the
that's one
basketball
of the
game
things
in
you should
Delaware.
talk about at University of Delaware.
Yeah,
Say,
to
hey,
have
you know, your
something.
athletes should have a class.
Yeah, that would actually be really good for a lot of athletes.
And there's all these electives, you know.
Yeah, you might as well take
Might as well
something
take that,
could help
right.
you.
And at the same time, teach them how to stay off of Twitter and different things.
The
and
right
watch how
things
they
to say on Twitter.
Do you stay away from Twitter?
I do a little bit, but it's a
many
great way to
followers you
kind of
have?
connect with fans. I have
8
over
million?
50,000. I don't really know my exact number, but it is a great way to connect with fans and get word out about different things. But people need to be careful with
Very
social
careful.
media, the
Very
things they
careful.
say.
We only got 1 minute left.
We
had
do. So
great
let's give it.
time.
You get to do the recap, Walter.
Yep.
What'd you learn about Elena?
I learned, well, I didn't learn anything. I know Elena was a class act and a beautiful girl and fulfilling her dreams. I'll tell you, when you look at young people, and I do today to try and say, who would I like my grandkids to be like? I would have no problem if my 3 granddaughters wanted to be like Elena. And that's a big compliment for me. And I think that there's too few athletes today that you can point and say, oh, yeah, I would like my...
And that's not just saying be a professional athlete.
No.
That's not saying. That is just as a person.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And that's the greatest
and you
compliment I
have
can
to,
give you.
you know, Mrs. or Mrs. Delle Donne, you did good.
Great job.
That's
Great
That's
job.
one of those things, and I know that they've been pretty available parents, and we'll leave it at that. Elena, thank you for making time to come down here and sharing Youth in Sports reunion with the alumni.
What does opportunity mean to you? At Wilmington University, it means finding your relevance in the job market. That's why we offer career-oriented degree programs that meet employment needs in emerging fields. Dedicated professors bring their real-world experience into the classroom so you'll graduate with the tools you need to succeed on the job. It's your degree. Make it relevant to your career. Personalized education, affordable tuition, that's the difference at Wilmington University.
This show was sponsored by ATI, the company taking physical therapy to a higher level throughout the country. First State Orthopedics, where Youth in Sports hosts Drs. Straight and Axe are members of the team taking care of Delaware with a commitment to excellence. And President Jack Barcelona and his Wilmington University College of Technology, where each semester this student-run program is produced, directed, edited, and distributed under the guidance of the TV production faculty. Each guest receives a copy of the show, and all shows are available on the web at youthinsports.com.